Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So we are on video number 2 of the Bestie collab, and this is the sketch we're going to be doing. I'm so excited because as soon as I saw it, I was like, I get to use something that I bought and have never used, and let's get started. All right, so for my base paper, I decided I'm going to cut this one out like a little centerpiece because I want to save it. Because it's going to wind up being covered and I don't want to lose such a big chunk. So I'm going to measure down 3 inches and cut, and then on the other sides I'm going to cut at like an inch because I don't need to save that much, because at the top I just need a little bit to where I can cut out the little semicircle, and I just want to make sure that I had enough paper where you would see a little bit of that, that pink sticking out. 1 inch wasn't going to be enough. You'd be looking at air. So we're just going to cut off 4 sides, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to remind you. So for the next 5 Tuesdays in September, you've already seen video 1. This is video 2. We'll have 3 more weeks where we'll be posting a live video, or not live video, we'll be posting videos, and we're using the same collection from Alltanew, called Reflection. It's no longer available. I think you can get pieces of it, elements of it, but you can't get the whole kit. They had it on sale and we were able to both get one, and we wanted to challenge ourselves to see how we would each use the same collection using the same sketches. All right, so right there, I just cut like an inch off of the basil. I cut the strip off, and I cut an inch off. It wasn't enough because it's only just a little bit showing. So I decided to cut off, I want to say it was either another inch. Yeah, I'm going to line it up here. Yep, I took a whole inch off this time. And with the inch, I'm just double checking my measurements. I'm like, where am I? Okay, so that way I don't cut off too much on just one side. And then that should be enough to be able to cover. Yep. All right. Now that I'm liking, because then you can at least see the paper behind it. Now the little film strip, I don't actually pick it up and show it to you guys in the video while I'm making it, and I do apologize for that, but EK Success has a punch that creates that design. Okay, I bought it for a reason. Ask me how many times I've used it. Once, and you're looking at it right here. So sad. Okay, so I'm laying down, the elements, because I'm pretty sure I have everything that I have plans, everything where it's going to go. On that particular die cut, I just want to use the bottom words. So I am going to wind up trimming that. And then I'll toss it because I'm not going to use the bicycle. It's really pretty and cute, but I'm just not going to say that. And we're going to move along, I should say. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make that semicircle up in the upper right hand side. I'm looking at my hand punches, and I think the biggest punch I have is like an inch. And I was trying to figure out, what if I double punch it? I wasn't getting what I wanted. I really wasn't. So I decided, you know what, let's put that to the side and let's figure this out. So I grabbed my Brutus Monroe and I decided to cut a semicircle. Of course, my drawing skills, I think my finger was in the way. Because this is just a test little piece of paper. So if you don't have cutting machines, if you don't have the punches, you can find elements in your house to cut semicircles and do stuff like that. So I decided for the piece that was going to go behind the photo, I wanted to use this flower paper. It's really pretty. It doesn't have any specific pattern wear. Sometimes depending on the paper, you want to make sure the images are going up and down correctly, but because they're all kind of like sprinkled all over, it works out that you can just trim it to the size that you want. And so I cut it at 6 inches, so that way I would still have the other half of the paper. And now I'm just trying to figure out, okay, so how long do I want to make this paper? And then once I figure out kind of where I want it to go, I was like, let me trim down the photo a little bit, because there was a whole lot of space up above us and even quite a bit below us. Not so much on the sides, but I just wanted to kind of trim everything up and make it look nice, And then that way I could see it would work out for me as far as with my side and making sure I had enough space all around it. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I was going to use that clear, almost like a clear die cut, the acetate one that says awesome. And I wind up not using it because I want to say I move my photo and stuff over and there's not enough room. But I'll show you what we're going to do with that section. All right, so we're trimming this down. So that way I have my little square. And then I decided that I wanted to put a little bit of matte paper behind basically it's going to be my little journaling spot. All right, and then what I did was I trimmed down the journaling spot a little bit, and then just did the mat about 1/8 of an inch bigger around that, because I really just wanted a super thin line just to give it a little bit of definition, because there's so much white behind the pink flowers, little flower petals and stuff. Just a little definition. And then we're going to put some behind the photo as well. And since I trimmed it down, I just wanted to make sure what size. And that's one of the good things about the cutter too. As you're using it to trim, you can also use it to measure. So once I line it up, we're going to trim. And then there we go. And on the side, I trimmed a little bit more. Because, I mean, it's like super thin. Like, I think it's actually probably like a 16th of an inch that I wanted around it. Just a little bit of something, not too much. Because I don't want to lose that pattern paper behind the image. Now, on here, I cut off just a little bit, I want to say it was like a 1/2 an inch, because I want to put that little strip up above the photo. And then I wind up making it a 1/2 an inch long to stick up just in the one little corner of the photo when we go to put it all together. So now we're going to cut our circle, our little semicircle. And what I decided to do, because of, one, I'm tracing with pencil, and then I'm going to be hand cutting this out. I do wind up going around, I believe, the 4 edges using the hickory smoke. So when you watch Beatriz's videos, you'll see where I get the hickory smoke from, because that is her favorite color to distress with. And mine just happened to be on the desk because I used it in a card project. I think it was one of the last Friday sketches in August, and So this is what happens when you don't put stuff away on your desk. You wind up using it again and again and again because it's right there in your face. So we're just going to use our ATG gun, tape everything up. And then we're going to put a little bit of the art glitter glue. And we're going to get this laid down. So on this one, not a lot of the pattern paper for me is being used. You could layer pattern paper on top and do all your, elements on top of that. But it's something about when they're stamping and anything mixed media, and it's not even like a whole lot of wet media, I always go to my marshmallow and I want to use it in some capacity. So that's why I wanted to make sure I grabbed another pattern paper for what was going to go underneath the photo itself. Okay, so I'm bringing out the Mega Misty. I call it the Mega. This one is the 12 by 12. And I'm bringing it out because I want to be able to do all of the stamping and making sure that everything is lined up if I need to restamp. So as it turns out, it also looks like I lost the footage of me actually stamping, which is okay. So what I did is I used Versaclear Nocturnal ink, and I stamped up at the top and the bottom because I just wanted that to peek out like it does in the sketch. And the stamps that I use, the kind of like the grouping or the stamping is a little different than what's actually on the page, but I still like how it turns out. So right now we're just putting the matte pages connected to the photo and the journaling spot. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and start gluing down the film strip, and then the other side, the other glitter paper strip that I had created. And so I go ahead and I put this down. And what's funny is a lot of times, you worry and you're like, okay, where am I going to put this? Is going to be enough room? And a lot of times you just wind up starting putting stuff down and you realize, oh, I was a little farther over than I was supposed to go. Okay, new plan. And, it still comes out really pretty and it's really close to the sketch itself. But I think that's one of the best part about sketches. They don't have to be exact. They can be exact to the letter. It's all about what you get from it, what it inspires you to do. And I just love this whole grouping. And as soon as I saw the film strip, I knew that I was going to be pretty close to what we see here, because it spoke to me. Okay, so instead of using fun foam, I decided to use my foam tape, and I'm just putting that to have a little bit of distance between the photo and the actual layout itself. What it does is, if there's anything that I want to tuck underneath, if I wanted to put ephemera pieces under or like kind of tuck underneath, having your photo lifted gives you a little bit of like wiggle room, or a little more as far as options, as far as where to tuck stuff in. I don't think we do a whole lot of tucking on this one. I add a few stickers, but you'll see as I go. So that half an inch strip that we did at the beginning, I went around with the hickory smoke, and then we're just going to tuck that right underneath where the photo is, and it fits perfectly. Okay. Now, if you wanted it to stand out more, I could have used a piece of the glitter paper and put that up at the top. You just want a little bit of something to stick up there. Now, in the kit, we got these wood veneer pieces, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, I want to use the butterflies on this one because it had a little picture of a butterfly. I'm down with that. Well, I decided that we're going to emboss it. So I pressed it down into the embossing ink pad, and it's the one that I have it's a little bit dirtier than my new one, and so I'm leaving that one for the wood because sometimes some of the residue that's on the chipboard pieces and stuff like that, it makes the ink pad look really nasty, even though, I mean, it's just sticky ink. But when I got my new one, I decided the dirty one was going to stay for projects like this. So I'm just holding it as close as I can and the heat tool away from my fingers, and I'm trying to heat up the gold embossing powder from Nuvo. It's the Enchanted Gold, and I love how that turned out. A little bit of sparkle. I love it, love it. So on that piece, we're going to put a little piece of some foam on the side that hangs off, and right underneath, and then the little part of the butterfly that's going to touch the photo, we're going to leave no foam, and then that'll connect there. And as soon as I did that, I'm starting to pull out. I had a day 2, because this was actually day 2 of the crop weekend, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. This was on the little die cut sheet in the kit. Because this particular kit, even though it says reflection, it has a travel theme to it, so it left me a little limited on what I was going to scrap, because especially this year, the only place I've been is to the crop in January, so that's why you're seeing a lot from this particular grouping. Okay. And so I bring out the other 2 butterfly pieces that were also in there. And I decided I was going to, instead of having that round kind of, I don't know, the round element, I decided that I was just going to use the butterfly for that. And so we're going to really quick heat emboss those other 2 pieces. I'm just laying out some more things. Yeah. By moving it too close over to the right, I can't use the awesome. So I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp the vacation, and underneath, the stamp is so tiny I'm going to have to read from. It's a trip to remember. So we got to use the stamp set again. And at first, which is funny, when we were contemplating the series and looking through, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to use this stamp set for? And I think I've gotten to use it both layouts this time. So I grabbed the same Nocturnal ink, and I'm practicing making sure that it's going to stamp good because it's a brand new stamp. And I'm going to press down and press up and just pull up, and we get a perfect vacation. And then I'm going to grab the itty bitty one. And I wind up grabbing a smaller glass block, clear block. And we're going to stamp a trip to remember. And it turns out, I want to say, like when I'm doing all my spotters and stuff, I wind up, there's a little bit of a smudge on the A, but it's okay. It just looks like it's vacation, trip to remember. It's okay. All right, we're going to move some stuff to the side. And then on this part, this is where I decide to kind of click off and do the other 2 butterflies. That way y'all didn't have to sit through all that. And we're going to get this one glued down. And then I decided to go ahead and do the date stamp because it actually had a spot that said date. So I just stamped it right there. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to put something into the individual, like, little movie strips. I know I wanted to put a few things down, and I wanted to grab, like, the sticker, and I decided to put that up there. And it's just a little bit of hints of yellow because there was so much pink and white. I just wanted, like, 3 elements or a couple of elements. So that's an arrow. And then I have another sticker that we're gonna put right up above the vacation. And then I was looking at the different hearts. I don't think I used that one. I think I wound up using the chipboard pieces. Yeah, I grabbed 2 of the chipboard hearts, and we'll wind up using those. So that one there. And I don't know if it comes off while we're on camera, but I think later when I was done recording, because I didn't put down any of the art glitter glue, that particular heart did kind of like move around. So even though it's a chipboard piece and it has some sticky behind it, I would still make sure to put some behind the actual heart or whatever the image is, because sometimes that adhesive that they put on the back isn't strong enough. Okay. So now I'm just writing January because this was actually, I want to say it was a July card that I got from L Studio. And so I used my whiteout to cover up the July, and then I just put JAN in my own handwriting to talk about the January trip that we took. And I'm just filling out talking about how we met these great ladies at the crop, and this was I want to say, yeah, this was the second day, the big day, where we did gifts exchange, and we had like a party at the end of the night, and there was conga. It was a lot of fun. So just a little, journaling, just to kind of remind you of the day and bring back the memories of what happened. And then I decided to grab some paper. We're going to cover up the photo and put down some more splatters because I just can't get enough. So I'm going to start with the Jen Hadfill Gold. And the gold, I kind of go a little crazy, only because the only other gold I have on here is the butterflies. So I wanted to make sure that where I did the stamping, there was gold, and that I went around basically all over. But I'm going to come back and do a little bit more gold up in the upper left once I get done with the black splatter. And on this one, I don't splatter with any of the white. I just do the black and the gold, and sometimes that's it. Usually I do like doing it in groups of 3. I think it adds a little bit of something, but oh, that is my third color. I totally forgot. I didn't do white. I decided to change it up, and I did a purple, but on my desk, the purple with the light, for some reason it was like registering as black, so I thought I only used the black and the gold, but I did. I used the Heidi Swap Amethyst, I think it is. Yep. And it's one of those really deep pinks, like a purpley pink. It was perfect for this set. It really was. Like, I couldn't have planned it any better. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this collab series. Links will be down below in the more section to Beatriz's video for today, and we'll also be linking at the very end our previous video. And definitely leave a comment down below if you guys are enjoying the series. This is something that we enjoy doing, challenging each other, and we hope you guys enjoy it as well. So keep an eye out. Next Tuesday there will be another video coming, and I will see you guys with our next video. Have a great day.